So this is a great point to start all these videos on, because this is exactly what exhaustion looks like. There's no explanation to why I was hurting that much, let's just put it that way. Anyway, so we don't know what we're doing. Not us, I'm talking about doctors. It can't be real. If I can't see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, it can't be real. If I can't see it under a microscope, it can't be real. Oh, I don't understand the brain yet, but it can't be real. Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube. I wanted to share my lovely day today with you. As I said yesterday and kind of opened up the whole forefront, I woke up this morning in a lot of pain and ended up going to the emergency room this morning. And like it never fails, it's a fight from the death from the beginning. I mean, when you go into an emergency room, you first off have to prove to them that you've even got an issue. And then, you know, they go into the, well, are you here for your back, or are you here for
I'm here for everything.
Because I can't handle it anymore. And then, you know, the doctor, I love, and I'm exaggerating, okay? I hope you understand this. I love the doctors who go, are you ready for me to speak? Are you ready for me to speak? Now, the whole way home, all I kept thinking about was that like fun little saying that, you know, the customer's always right. This is a doctor. I'm not saying that I know more than him, and I don't want to assume I do. I don't. I absolutely don't. But it's like you set up this environment without being honest. And if I play their game and I don't smoke and I don't do anything and I just sit home and let myself wither away and I don't take care of myself, and I provide them what the patient they want to see, so then they'll pay attention because, oh, I'm urgent by that point. Or what are you here for? Or you're just stirring around finding some kind of freaking relief. And the worst part is the saline that they gave me. I already know. My mouth already feels really weird, and you know, because it's all the sodium. They give you so much sodium. And I only had one bag done, and then they're going to prioritize you by your issue. So if you've ever dealt with the experience of the emergency room and having anything related to hepatitis C, to cannabis, or to requesting no narcotics, it's really hard, because first off, you're going to a physician establishment where the primary care provider is what they're going to listen to. They're not going to make decisions for you, and if they are going to make decisions, they're quick fixes and they cost money. So I had an EKG this morning. I have zero explanation why they did that. I woke up, it felt like a Mack truck had hit me this morning. Went to bed last night with a migraine, so when I woke up this morning, that migraine was still present, plus my entire body from the tops of my head to the bottom of my feet were hurting this morning. So, you know, I honestly have pondered a few times today that, you know, maybe chronic fatigue is really what's playing into all of this stress, that it just puts me into this trigger of feeling like crap. But, you know, because I had been to a funeral yesterday, I don't know. But anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is that basically, it really sucks, because I ended up leaving there, went in at 9:45 this morning, and I ended up leaving at 3:30 this morning, or this afternoon. I really asked, well, let's put it this way, when I was admitted initially, of course, you know, you're in pain, so you're crying. That's really what was going on. So the crying didn't really help, because they actually treated me more of like a, she wants something. I honestly wanted to be admitted today. I really wanted to be in the hospital overnight today, because it's like you don't know when your pain's important. You don't know when it is your ailments to the point where you have to be watched. It just, like, my hands right now, like, it hurts just to even do anything strenuous, tiny, like, my steering wheel. It was so hard to drive back home. Now, everybody that's ever been to the emergency room, usually you're supposed to have somebody, a buddy-buddy system, but as I mentioned in my last video, I'm really independent, and, you know, I guess part of my problem is that I don't know how to reach out when I need to, and I don't know how to decipher sometimes what takes precedence against me taking the reins, if that makes sense. So I just feel like so many people on YouTube I've seen, like, defeated as fuck. Like, I already knew before they took blood work, oh, everything's fine. Oh, but you have, this is the best part, they tell me that I have a kidney infection right now. Really? I didn't know that. I really didn't, but I don't believe it, and I don't even know if this is what I'm saying. I didn't go in there because I had a kidney problem. I went in there because I feel horrible, and, you know, the doctors are like, oh, well, then that's probably why you're sweating and vomiting. For the last 4 years? Okay, I'm achy, maybe, you know, like, I had nurses coming in saying, oh, you must have the flu. I had 6 blankets on top of me, folded over, because I was freezing, and every time the coldness would hit my body, it was like, you might as well have taken a fish knife and cut my joints apart, because it was just agonizing pain. And then I actually experienced today the feeling of your skin actually in pain, like, almost like as if you were to put me in water and then freeze me. I don't mean a hypothermic feeling like a pain. I've never had hypothermia, but what I'm saying is it's almost like the skin is so tight from the coldness that if I relax, all from the tops of my head to the bottom of my feet, the nerves start flaming up and I'm in a lot of pain. Like it's so weird because I've heard other people say they're skin sensitive. I bruise really easily, I cut myself often, I usually don't feel half of it, so I was laying in the bed going, I should be able to rest. I haven't slept in 2 weeks for more than 3 hours. For my skin to be completely in agony, and for blankets, just the heaviness of the blankets to be on me, that sucks. I have to be ready for that next doctor to come in and say, oh, she just wanted to sleep. Well, yeah, because I haven't slept in 2 weeks. But I can't, because why? I have to defend myself. I have to protect myself. So this is a great point to start all these videos on, because this is exactly what exhaustion looks like. Where you're just stirring around, finding some kind of freaking relief. And I love the doctors who go, are you ready for me to speak? Are you ready for me to speak? Now, the whole way home, all I kept thinking about was that like fun little saying that, you know, the customer's always right. Now, this is a doctor. I'm not saying that I know more than him, and I don't want to assume I do. I absolutely don't. But it's like you set up this environment without being honest, and if I play their game and I don't smoke and I don't do anything and I just sit home and let myself wither away, and I don't take care of myself, and I provide them what the patient they want to see, so then they'll pay attention because, oh, I'm urgent by that point. This is functioning. This is actually what functioning looks like right now. I drove myself to the hospital, and I admitted myself to the emergency room, and then when I went to check out, I checked myself out, and I drove myself home. This is what functioning looks like. When you seek a doctor and they push you away. I'm like standing in line behind this guy checking out, and he's like talking about how he just had a baby at that hospital, and that why is insurance not working. Apparently had Medicaid. I have Medicare because I'm disabled. And, you know, I'm vamping for that little conversation with the same lady because I'm in line, and only a few weeks ago I had received $4,000 in one emergency room bill from over 2 months ago, I believe it was, or a month ago. I think it was 2 months ago, but and so $4,000 I owe this hospital supposedly now because Medicare is incompetent. And I say that because the card they gave me is completely screwed up. There's errors all over it. I mean, the name's right, but that's about it. So the effective date is wrong. I've been on disability now for 1.5 years, so that doesn't make any sense, but my insurance didn't kick in until recently. So yes, I'm taking full advantage of the insurance, and that means the doctor bills that I cannot afford, because my life has had to go in one fucked up direction. And so my take on all of this is, obviously I'm talking about this particular person who was standing in line. He's telling the woman, well, why are you needing a copay? Because they're needing a copay from him, or a deposit, because his insurance isn't working. Now, the first thing he says is, oh, I should send this bill into Obama. And, of course, anybody in line who lives in America, who, whether you are for Obama or against Obama, you're going to have your opinion about this healthcare reform. And I personally, in my opinion, believe it is, I think it is sneaky. I think we are going to see lots of benefits with it that will pull us in like a fish. And then you're going to see lots of problems. Now, I'm not a benefit junkie. I hope you understand this. I believe that if I was capable, I would be fine. But I'm not capable. So, and I actually like working. Like, the hardest thing for me is to be still, even when I'm sick, because it's like your mind space just absorbs all those thoughts, and you just can't go elsewhere. So if I've got energy, like even a little bit, I use it to create, because creating, I see something functioning, something coming from what I'm doing. Functioning is probably not the right word, but evolving. I see something evolving. So anyway, so this guy, he ends up, being told, oh, and I love it. I can give you exactly how it sounds. I'm now this woman, okay? I'm the woman who's, behind the glass and giving him the bill. And her response was, well, I'll just disregard this bill today, and you'll receive it in 7 days. And then at that point, you can call this number, which is collections, and at that point, then you can pay that bill. I thought he already had insurance, and I thought, you took it when he had his baby been born, but you won't take it now. Poor guy, I have no clue what the guy was in there for. I never saw him while I was in the emergency room, but it humbled me, and, as soon as I got in the car, I thought, oh God, I have to do a video about this, because it's common. It's a lot more common than we realize. I can remember my mother in the early 90s, well, let's put it this way, okay. 91 or 92 is when I was diagnosed with HCV, which is hepatitis C. And like I've said in the past, they had ribavirin and interferon for the two treatments. Well, interferon is actually the most common as far as what I remember. I don't know about today. I cannot speak for today. And, put your two cents in if you have more information than I do. I'm happy to hear, I do want to connect in that way. But interferon was a very expensive drug as far as I remember, but also a very accepted insurance drug. And ribavirin was even more expensive, but it weighed the options, because supposedly you weren't supposed to have to take as many, so then the insurance companies were just as happy to get that one to you too. But you had to be an adult. So that meant you had to be 18 or older. Why? Well, because that's just the way it was. So part of the reason I have been untreated for 20 years and been suffering and seeing all these other things happen is because of insurance companies. So I can remember being sat down at Children's Hospital in Denver, Colorado. And if you're familiar with that hospital, it's a wonderful hospital. I have nothing but positive things to say about that hospital. I truthfully don't have anything negative to say about it. But I can remember being sat down at, I think I was 7 or 8 years old, because it was right after I relapsed. And they explained to me, a doctor sat, the little short table, little kids sit on, the colored chairs. I'll never forget it. It's a circle table. And I think there was Legos in the background. I don't know, but I was a child, 20 years ago. And the doctor's saying, and I wasn't even familiar with exactly what the concept of sex or anything else was at that point, but just, I understood what injections meant, which is such a far extreme, but, I can remember being told by the doctor, privately with my mom not there, that at some point I may have to discuss my illness with somebody, a loved one, a future husband. And you're telling a child this. And the reality was, it hit me. I knew what she was talking about. I knew what she was talking about. That this, for the rest of my life, I'd be facing my skeleton. So I feel kind of defeated today. Like, I've got all these prescriptions and they're all a joke. And the best part was, and if you are a Hep C person, I love it. I love this part. And forgive me for saying this, but it is what it is. So the doctor says, and I'm covers up to the top of I was cold, like my nose was cold, my feet, and I could feel in every single joint where it was cold, like physically cold and warm on the leg. It was so weird. There's no explanation to why I was hurting that much, let's just put it that way. Anyway, so the doctor's just basically like, oh, you just have a bladder infection and a kidney infection, and we can't give you any narcotics because you're saying you're allergic to tramadol, which tramadol is it is a non-narcotic and it's a pain pill, and I don't know why. I mean, I took it after my surgery. I don't like taking them because I really feel like it's one of those catch-22 things. Like, I don't like the feeling of pain pills because it makes me feel sluggish, but I also don't like knowing that it's not doing shit. So I'm not saying that you're supposed to feel that like buzz from a pain pill. I'm saying you shouldn't have any pain. So it doesn't work for me. That means that it's nerve damage and other things too. So a lot of my pain isn't going to be solved by a pain pill. It's going to be solved by a injection, or a steroid injection to stop pain, or a chiropractor or heat therapy or something like that may help my pain. And that's it. That's all I know that helps, because it's like chemicals don't do shit for me. And anyway, the doctor kept interrupting me, and I just kept feeling like I said, if you listen to your patients, maybe you'll learn a new illness is out there. If you keep diagnosing your patients before they've given you all the fucking things that are going on, then how the hell are you supposed to do your job? And if a person's upset and they're reaching to you and they know, I knew how much money I was going to be wasting in that moment, because he didn't have the time to be a doctor today. He had the time to just tell me what was wrong with me in his mind so he could go to the next patient, because I'm not his problem in his opinion. He didn't say that, but that was definitely the attitude. So, he walked out of the room 3 times while I'm talking to him, and at one point, I'm sorry, I got sick of it. I'm in between drowsiness from the stupid injections they gave me, my mouth was hurting from the saline, and he's telling me that this is all in my head and that it's a kidney infection. I've had kidney infections, and I felt them. I'm not saying that he's wrong. And they also said a little bladder infection. Well, how fucking long have I had this? And so it just boggles my mind. I'm like, it's like running. You're almost to the finish line. You almost have something. Where did everything go? That's how I feel. Like, I cannot get my message to the right doctor. I asked the nurse when she was doing my blood pressure and all that, and the initial sticking the IV line in and all that. I thought, the last time that I actually had progress was when I demanded progress. Meaning, I refused to leave the hospital. I asked them to admit me, and I wasn't going to accept anything else. Now, they gave me the grand suite with the French doors, and I could move my entire apartment into that room. And I'm not exaggerating. It was crazy. It was depressingly crazy. But anyway, and that was at Huntington Hospital in California. It was a wonderful place in the sense that they did more than any other doctor, but they also reinstilled the reality that I have a problem, and it's not mental. It's physical. It's neurological, meaning my brain and my body are not working together. My blood is toxic because of the fact, well, not toxic, but can be toxic because of the fact that I have a terminal illness I have to deal with. It's like, It's like being dirty and never getting clean. That's kind of how it feels. And, I'm absolutely at no point was that doctor kind enough to say, we're going to get this figured out, when you basically subject yourself to living as a poor person, a homeless person, unless you subject yourself to that point, which it's a pro and con if you're even going to be accepted and respected once you do go in. But unless you're starving and you look, starving for help, let's put it that way, and you look like shit, and there is something sticking out of your body, doctors don't care. I really am sure of that. They don't care. And if it's like, I was thinking when I was driving home, like, what do they have to do research on what states accept sick people? And then these private hospital things, that just blows my mind, because, the woman who was explaining that my insurance is all weird right now, and I'm getting bills I shouldn't be getting, I should just send them to the state, or SSDI, excuse me. That shouldn't have to happen. I shouldn't have to do everybody else's job. Like, what person is sitting around not doing their job? I'm obviously paying lots of money to. I don't know, and then all that's documented. That's the best part. All of the documentation where they say all my tests come back negative, and that inconclusive to what is going on, and that I do have okay, that was the best part. I do have lots of health problems, but none of that's going to be solved today. Okay? That's exactly how he acted. So, what are you supposed to say? Okay, as you're falling asleep because they've just pumped you with a bunch of freaking fake stuff, like, I'm really tired. I'm really tired of all of this. Like, so, I'm home now, and I'm going to try to wind down, see how I can get comfortable. It's a freaking lost cause half the time, but I don't know. I want to be positive and I want to be hopeful, but it's like, what are they going to recall fibromyalgia, hepatitis C, anxiety disorder, and IBS? Because they're just too tricky. We don't know what we're doing. Not us. I'm talking about doctors. It can't be real. If I can't see it, feel it, touch it, smell it, it can't be real. If I can't see it under a microscope, it can't be real. Oh, I don't understand the brain yet, but it can't be real. Fucking God. It's a horrible thing. So, I might post some more videos, I don't know, but I'm so tired. Anyway. Alright, you guys, have a great day, and I'd love to hear your little emergency room stories or healthcare insurance stories. I'm sure I'm going to be able to add to this lovely little vlog. Anyway, have a great day, whatever that consists of. Have a good one.